Hey everybody, here we are, week 2, so you made it through the first week. Good for you. Now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of the class. This is the first full week of the class, and we're starting with a bang. So we're going to be talking about hardware and software primarily this week, but a couple other things as well. So what's really the difference? Well, you're going to learn about it, but in a word or in a couple of words, hardware versus software. Hardware is all the actual tangible stuff in computer technology. It can be your mouse, it can be your smartphone, it can be all elements of your smartphone, like the glass and all the kind of things within the smartphone itself. It can be the laptop, it can be the camera that you're looking into. This is the stuff that you can kind of touch and you can manipulate. That's the hardware. Now, there's tons and tons and tons and tons of hardware out there. I'm looking at my watch. This is a Garmin smartwatch. And all of this is hardware, right? All the buttons and the screen and stuff like that. Now, hardware is necessary for software, but software is necessary for hardware. So normally when we think about software, we think about programs, Microsoft Word, Outlook, Excel, PowerPoint, but also other things too, like browsers. You're all using a browser right now. Even apps on your phone, like the Facebook app or the Pinterest app, or Spotify or whatever you may use on your phone. You think of that as software, and that is software. So this is usually these are programs that are run on hardware to have hardware do certain things. Okay, so you see how the two of those things are absolutely necessary. In order for hardware to do what it's supposed to do, it needs software. It needs programs to run it. And software really isn't anything without the hardware on which it can run. But those are the real differences. So breaking it down, hardware is going to be kind of that tangible stuff in all the computer technology. And software is going to be all the programming that works with, interacts with, and makes the hardware work. So there's going to be more to be said about that in the lecture. So keep a close eye on everything in the lecture. There's some interesting information about cloud storage as well, and we're going to focus primarily on OneDrive. Now, what is cloud storage? Well, there was a time not that long ago when whenever you wanted to store something on your computer, you needed to store it on your hard drive, right? And that could be a problem if your computer crashed and boom, all your stuff's gone. So now cloud storage allows us to store information, data, files, whatever, in the cloud. And by the cloud, we don't mean kind of out there in the ether floating around, but basically on other companies' computers and servers. So if you're using Microsoft Office's OneDrive, which is what we're going to use a lot in this class and throughout your time at Bryan Stratton, you're actually saving files not on your computer, but on servers, massive computers that Microsoft owns. It ends up being much safer, much more secure. So if something happened to your computer, if you got a new one, you could set up your OneDrive and have all of that stuff accessible to you just like that. Very easy. So OneDrive is going to be very important also because one of the assignments for this week is going to be a OneDrive reflection in which you explain a little bit about cloud storage and OneDrive and then talk about why it's important to understand this. Why does it matter that we know something about OneDrive and cloud storage? The hardware, software, cloud storage, those are going to be the primary things we talk about this week. Both of the assignments for this week are going to deal with that, hardware and software. There's a little test there, and then OneDrive in the reflection. We have a really, really interesting topic for discussion this week. It's on the subject of slacktivism, and I'm going to have a lot more to say about that in my video that I'm going to post in my own thread in the discussion board. So make sure that when you get into discussion, you read through my post and you watch the video as well, because it's going to give you some good background information. So week 2 is upon us. You guys did very, very well in week 1. I'm confident that you're going to continue to do well this week. Looking forward to seeing what y'all bring to the table this week. Thanks, folks.